Hello everyone and welcome to the Golden Egg, and this is the second episode of Kdrama Flashback, and this time we'll be looking at 공부의 신, or Master of Study. The cast will be divided into two sections, firstly the teachers and then the students. To kick off the teachers, we'll be starting with Kim Suro, who plays Kang Sok-ho, a lawyer who happens to have a very dark past in essentially beating people up and kind of in the criminal scene, but he is a lawyer now, and so he's now tasked with fixing up his old school. Kim Suro's additional works include 신사의 품격, or A Gentleman's Dignity, as well as Come Back, Mister. Next of the teachers is Bae-duna, who plays Han Soo-jung, an English teacher at Byungmun High School. Now, Bae-duna, as many of you are very familiar with, is an extremely accomplished actress with some of her recent titles coming from Kingdom, as well as Stranger, or 비밀의 숲. The last of this cast of teachers is Oh-yuna, who plays Jang-mari, a president of this entire high school, as well as one of the children to the group that actually owns 병문고등학교, or Byungmun High School. Now, Oh-yuna does have an extensive career as well, which includes titles such as A Pledge to God, as well as Once Again. The students are led by Yoo Sung-ho, who plays Hwang Baek-hyun, a really poor student who lives with his grandma. He's very good at fighting, but he's more focused on trying to feed the rest of his family, which includes him and his grandma, but only him and his grandma, right? And he's very diligent at working 2 to 3 jobs to make that money. Now, Yoo Sung-ho has actually had an extremely successful acting career, which includes the likes of projects like Memorist or 복수가 돌아왔다, or My Strange Hero in English. The next actress is Go Ah-sung, who plays Kim Pulip, whose mom runs a bar. Now, because she runs a bar, there's a lot of conflict between her character and her mom, and on top of that, it actually leads to her not doing too hot in school, despite the fact that she does try desperately to become an extremely good student. Now, one of her other things is that she's desperately waiting for a Prince Charming to show up and kind of scoop her off her feet and remake her life. But obviously, it is one of those childish fantasies, but one that a lot of people can relate to. Now, Go Ah-sung, since this drama, has actually had a very wonderful career. She does a lot more movies than she does dramas. However, one of her recent dramas, Life on Mars, was an extremely successful hit. The next actress is Ji-yeon, who plays Na-yeon-jung, a character absolutely obsessed with Yoo Sung-ho's character, Baek-hyun. Now, this seems extremely one-dimensional at the very beginning, but overall, as you get through her character and what she does and how she acts, you'll eventually find out that she actually ends up having an extremely tragic backstory, and overall, you will grow to like this character. Now, when you look at Ji-yeon's career as a whole, after this drama, or including this drama, she started off extremely successfully with the group Tiara and absolutely blew up the K-pop scene at the time. But that group absolutely blew up with their scandal, and I'm not going to go into that at all, but you can definitely look it up. And during that course, she actually had a couple successful hits, including Dream High 2, as well as Jungle Fish. And recently, she's been coming back into the K-drama scene, so you'll be able to check her out in some of her more recent works, including Let Me Hear Your Voice. The next actor is Lee Hyun-woo, who plays Hong Chan-do, an extremely rich and affluent child whose background and love for music and dancing ends up straying from what his parents' desired path is of academics. Now, his siblings have done extremely well and have gone to the best universities, but due to his suffering grades, due to his other hobbies, he's not in the same track, and therefore you'll see the conflict between him and his parents develop. Projects include To the Beautiful You, or 아름다운 그대에게, and that's really his other major K-drama, as he's done more movies than K-dramas. The last actor is Lee Chan-ho, who plays Oh Bong-gu, a character whose parents own a butcher shop, and he's this very timid kid at school that no one really recognizes, but when you see him in his good environment back at his parents' house, he's this really bright, lively, and kind child. However, you'll see that this dynamic develops as Oh Bong-gu does really try to study hard and get better, but his parents ultimately don't really care if he's good at studying and wants him to live a carefree life. So you'll see some of the conflicts develop there and him building up his own self-esteem. Now, the unfortunate part about this actor is that he ended up not having much of a career after God of Study. 사랑비, or Love Rain, was really the only project he did that was major afterwards. So although that is unfortunate, this probably is his most major piece. The supporting cast is again absolutely fantastic with the likes of Kim Young-tak, Bong, Im Ji-eun, and Lee Byung-jun, as well as many others, and this drama is jam-packed with talent. The acting in this drama, in many cases, is definitely over the top, and in some cases is significantly overacted, but many of these characters play caricatures, so you can't really go beyond that and knock the acting and the writing too much, just because I think that was ultimately the intention of the writer, the director, and the actors themselves. Now, the students end up performing worse than the adults for various reasons. Although Yoo Seung-ho's performance is absolutely spectacular in this drama, I will note that the actors' jobs are absolutely phenomenal, and overall the acting in this drama, despite being over the top, is extremely good at the end of the day. So the plot starts with Seok-ho, who is a lawyer, as I've said before, and he is brought into his old school to more or less fix it. And now, note that the administration is not the one who brings him in. He kind of brings himself in. As a lawyer, he hears that his school is about to fall apart, and he comes in and he says that he's going to send 5 students to Cheonhadeakyo, which is the equivalent of Todai, or Tokyo University, or... The plot of this drama is based off of the Japanese manga Dragon Sakura. And so the main character, Seok-ho, who is a lawyer, as I've said before, goes to his old high school and tries to revive it by sending 5 of its students to the top college in all of Korea, Cheonhadeakyo. Now this Cheonhadeakyo, or Cheonha University, is the equivalent of Todai, or Tokyo University, or Seoul National University, as it reflects in real South Korean academics. But because of this, he needs to get help from the other teachers and students, as well as to form a more cohesive group to send these 5 students that I've mentioned as being part of the main cast to Cheonhadeakyo, and you'll be able to see the different aspects of where that leads. Now, what the most interesting part of this plot is the fact that it satire on the college admissions process in South Korea. And that's where it deviates from Dragon Sakura, because the admissions process in South Korea and Japan are different. And you'll be able to see where Seok-ho starts off by saying that you need to be a machine and you need to solve these problems, and that all of your problems should be solved by going to a good school and becoming part of the system rather than trying to fight the system in any possible way. But as the overall drama develops, you'll see that the end message ends up stemming from doing what you think is best and learning as a process of life rather than actually going to the good schools or becoming successful, and finding success within your own self and what you consider to be success. So I think that overall the plot of this drama and all of the themes in it scale very well into 2021 without having real blemishes, which is absolutely fantastic. The product placement in this drama is hardly noticeable, and they do a wonderful job of integrating it into the drama. And considering when you compare it to modern dramas or even its contemporaries like Boys Over Flower, it does an absolutely wonderful job. Seamless transitions and no real faults that I can say about this. I'll give it a 5 out of 5. The OST for this drama is really good. It starts off with a song by T-Max, who sang Paradise for Boff, Boys Over Flowers. But on top of that, you see artists such as 4 Minute, FX, Jiyeon, Secret, Beast. I mean, these are legendary names in the K-pop industry, and my 2 favorite songs in this entire OST list includes Dreams Come True by 4 Minute and 날개를 펴고 by FX's Amber, Luna, and Crystal. Now, most of these songs were probably forgotten due to the absolute success of most of these groups, but I highly encourage you to go and listen to them, and I'll leave a link below to my favorite tracks from this drama, and so that you can add another song to your playlist and really enjoy some of those old groups that you used to listen to back in the day. The legacy of this drama is extensive. Although not as much as its predecessor, it definitely was an absolute hit. It hit 26% in its ratings in its heyday, and on top of that, it was the launching point for careers for actors such as Yoo Seung-ho, Jiyeon, Go Ha-sung, Yeonu, among many others, as you'll be able to see their transitions between a child actor to a leading main actor were pretty defined here, and they actually were able to show some of their acting chops. On top of that, the themes here definitely transcend the time, and unlike Boys Over Flowers, which the legacy of those themes don't really last, this one definitely does. So I think overall it really does have a positive impact, and not only on top of that, it increased the velocity of and the budget of what KBS 2 wanted to do with their tween lineup moving forward with Dream High 1, Dream High 2, as well as School 2013. In conclusion, I think this is a fantastic drama to watch in 2021. And although some of the acting is over the top, the fact that some of these characters are caricatures and Japanese manga-based dramas or J-dramas and Korean dramas that are based off of these mangas have a lot of overacting done in general, I don't think it translates too poorly. And on top of that, the themes translate very well. The plot translates very well. And it's one of those dramas that kind of builds you up over time as you watch this drama and you feel good about it, and it has a fairly satisfying ending. So I implore all of you that get a chance to really take a look at this drama, especially considering if you are a Yoo Seung-woo fan or you're a fan of any of these other actors and actresses, because this is one absolutely fantastic piece. And on top of that, with the great OST that's coupled with it, I think it's one that you'll definitely have a good time with. So if you do want to watch this drama, I will leave a link to the official KBS World playlist down below to their YouTube. And on top of that, if you don't actually get access to some of these videos through YouTube, they're blocked in your country, for example, you will be able to watch them on Amazon Prime or Rakuten Viki. Now let me know down below what you thought of Master of Study or God of Study, 공부의 신. And if you like more of this content, you like K-Drama Rewind, like, subscribe, and let me know what dramas you want to watch next.